I'm going to talk to you like you are my friend. That's right. I'm taking off my Planetary Defense Commander hat for a second, and I'm going to talk to you like we were hanging out, having a beer. Although I haven't had a beer today. You know what I would like? I would like for Congress and Trump to write a special law saying that Obama could run in 2020. I would love to see Barack Obama run against Donald J. Trump in the 2020 election. That would be awesome. Now, I don't believe in the political process. I think that trillionaires are running it and they don't care about Republicans or Democrats. They care about divide and conquer, and that it is almost impossible to get a positive message of unity across to the people these days. Like, it is impossible. Like, they got gatekeepers on the YouTube and the social medias. It's just not going to happen, And so it would just be great to see those two go at it in a debate. Anywho, and we know that's not going to happen. But since we're being all buddy, I got to ask, what is Obama Gate? Like, it's that Obama knew that the whole Russia Gate was bullshit? And technically almost all of it happened when he was out of office. Or is it that, like, Obama was spying on Trump? I don't know, man. Donald J. Trump said it was the worst crime in American history. And to date, nobody's really said what it is. Like, I don't know. And so it's, I don't know. And I don't know if you remember at the time in like 2015, all the people who are now QAnon people were saying Obama's going to take over the UN and then it's going to be the beast system. And that didn't happen. And then for his entire election, they were like, he's going to take away our guns. And that didn't happen. And I don't know. It's what, like, the whole political stuff, whatever giant conspiracy theory they have, never ever really pans out. And so it's like during the Kavanaugh trial, I said, this is bullshit. It's going nowhere. During the impeachment, I said, this is bullshit. It's going nowhere. And now during Obamagate, I'm saying this is bullshit and it's going nowhere. And I couldn't think of a worse strategy or like to go into the 2020 election with over 300,000 dead people from COVID, 36 million jobs lost, and a nation that is totally tearing itself apart. Like, I'm having a hard time talking to everybody's Planetary Defense Commander nowadays, just because, like, y'all have never been more divided than you are now. And so, like, when I say, oh yeah, dude, the virus is real, from all the information I get and things I know and the people I've talked to, it's real, and you don't want to get it. You don't want your family to get it. People are like, BS, it is a total hoax, and it's just a flu, and it is some Illuminati plan where they got Russia in on it, and they got Israel in on it, and they got China in on it, and Japan, and Africa, and Italy, and Greece, and Turkey, and they're all in on it to drive down the election 6 months. To drive, to get Trump. And then I always remind people, like, Trump is a lame duck. After 2 years, if he wins the election in 2020, if he does not get the coronavirus, because he has pre-existing conditions. I don't know how many conservatives I've seen like, yeah, well, if you get the coronavirus and you die, it was your fault from having pre-existing conditions. And I'm like, well, Trump is over 70 and he's obese, kind of like me. So that's one of the reasons I have avoided getting it, because I'm a smoker and I'm obese. And so there's like no empathy for if you get it and you die, Anywho, but the whole, like, it's a hoax, it's opening back up. And sometimes, in rare moments, I get frustrated. And I'm like, well, okay, fine. Just open everything back up again. And then let's see that experiment, how that experiment goes. But I don't think that's best. But like I said, I think we should have had a very solid plan for solidifying the social safety nets, because the plague was one of the asteroids we were preparing for. It's one of the reasons I started Asteroid Fight Club. Anything that could grind civilization to a halt and possibly collapse it was what Asteroid Fight Club was intended to stop. And I still believe if we were united before 2020, we wouldn't have got the plague. But that didn't happen. Instead, both sides, the left and the right, doubled down on put all of our belief systems into politicians and then pray for the best. And to me, that's always been the laziest option. That just means that people get to vote and then they don't have any other responsibility. And so that they're not called upon to help society and their fellow man in any other way other than voting. And so we've got a lot of problems, man. And, so I don't know. So I'm just here in dream fantasy land. I got to admit, the week I talked about, like with Saturn going retrograde, Venus going retrograde, and today Jupiter went retrograde, and I'm a Sagittarius, Capricorn, Gemini, which means I'm heavily Saturn, Jupiter placements. And so it's hitting me real hard. And I'm just so tired of all the arguing and the bickering and the bad conspiracy theories that go nowhere. Like, I don't know, before, like, the conspiracy people were like, oh, they're going to depopulate us all. And so now we have a slow depopulation event, and they're like, oh, it's a hoax. And so it's like flip the coin. Or if they're like, it's not a hoax, then like, Bill Gates did it all. Or Fauci. And so I don't know, that's what I love about people who love politics, is they always know who to blame. And technically it's usually from a very short list. It's either Soros, Bill Gates, or Greta Thunberg. All right. Oh man. Anyway, if we are trying to find any metric of how things would go, in 1 hour, Barack Obama's vote tweet has gotten 388.9 thousand likes. And Donald J. Trump's tweet from 19 hours ago, Obamagate, has gotten 349,000 likes. So Obama's beating him by 40,000 likes in 1 hour, or 18 hours less than the Obamagate tweet. Although Donald J. Trump is beating him in retweets. But if this video goes on for like 10 more minutes, then Barack Obama is going to overtake him. And, I'm not excited about Trump as president. I'm not excited about Biden as president. I think what we need now is strong leadership, because we got some serious freaking problems. And everybody's got an opinion, right? And so my opinion is that A, the virus is real, and that B, sunlight is a heavy factor. And so no matter what, I think the second wave coming in the fall is going to be super nasty. And if you've done any research on the plagues and the pandemics before, the 1918 Spanish flu, the 1666 plague, the Black Death in the 1300s, like in the Spanish flu, the second wave killed more people than the first wave. And so I think we are, we're looking at, they're going to totally fumble this reopening. And then at some point in time, they're going to totally lock down everything. And I don't know. It's like I just have to pray and be patient. Because we really, and I say this, the left, the right, the middle, me, you, everybody, like what we've done since February on has really not been that wise. And everybody's like living in a fantasy land of like, we're just going to go back to normal. And that's not happening anytime soon. I think things are going to be great in 2022, in 2023. I think we're going to have like the new roaring 20s. As long as the whole world doesn't fall apart, which is always possible. Because like Trump today was talking about like totally cutting off all ties with China. Being like, hey, China, we're not going to work with you in any way, shape, or form. And I guess it would just be like, hey, we're going to be enemies and stuff. And so, yeah, I don't know, dude. It's a real, it's never been less fun to be Planetary Defense Commander because people are so ingrained. Like politics has become the religion and the whole way of life. And it's just incredible. And so, hey, Barack Obama has now overtaken Donald J. Trump in retweets. In 2 hours, he beat him in retweets and in likes. And now that we're talking as friends, I got to say, this is how I feel. And this is partially from someone else's theory that I won't name because I don't know if they're going to get mad if I name them or not. But smoke 'em if you got them. I think 20% of the people are totally mad about Trump. He's the greatest guy ever. And then 20% are like, Trump is the worst guy ever. Right? And the other 60% are kind of in the middle and gravitate back and forth. And so, I don't know, man. I don't think the people in the middle ground think that Trump has done that great of a job. It's like me. It took me 3.5 years to come out and verbally say, man, I don't think he's that good of a commander-in-chief. I don't know, I said on my Twitter feed a week ago, and I admitted it. Like, yeah, dude, as far as commander-in-chiefs go, he's just not that good. He's really great at pumping up economies, but when you have a real situation, whether it be hurricanes, wildfires, plagues, he doesn't know. He doesn't seem to know what he's doing, and his whole team does not know how to adapt or to adjust to anything. So, I don't know. I know this is going to trigger people. This video may get, 50% down thumbs, and I'm okay with that. Down thumbs ain't going to kill me. I mean, hell, if I got, Taylor and Elon were talking about killing me last week, and I was like, uh-oh, here we go again. It's weird how if you have an opinion, and my whole opinion was like, yeah, if I had a choice between making out with Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift, I'd definitely be making out with Billie, so I can't fault Elon for that, Anywho. Oh, man. You know what I need to do? I need to do another live update on the Nostradamus thing, because it's very important information. And it talks about that whole thing where, like, the Kings are going to be in trouble in June, probably, from totally screwing up February through May. Like I said, I don't know. People are like, he's been doing great. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. He loves the stock market, and he loves calling people names, and he loves blaming people. And then now he's rolled out Obamagate. And they asked him at the press conference, what is it exactly? You say it's the greatest crime in history. And what is that crime? And he was like, you should know. If you read the newspapers, you know. It's like, dude, that's not how it works. You're supposed to tell people what it is. So, like I said, I think it's the Republicans' bullshit version of Russiagate. So Russiagate was a nothing burger, and Obamagate is a nothing burger. And so, I mean, I don't know. I admit, Barack Obama wore a tan suit back in the day. That was like the biggest Obama scandal. And the people who used to say Benghazi like a million times, like what, 14 people died? We've had 85,000 Americans die in 7.5 weeks from COVID. And we could have shut shit down in February, tested and traced and had it under control. But we did not do that. I mean, Trump literally said, hey, it's going to disappear before April. That did not happen. Trump said, hey, we only have 15 cases in the United States of America. That's going to drop to 0 soon. That did not happen. He keeps saying it's just going to disappear. That's not happening. Yeah, I don't know. This might be too much for you. But dude, I'm so sick of like, it's so weird for me in the middle as the guy who like doesn't. And like Biden can barely even talk, man. Can't form a thought. So to me, both choices are really depressing and unmotivating. Anywho. So I don't know, like this is just an interesting metric to track. How we have the last president and the new president, and this is what I'm just trying to say, that like, I don't know, man, heck, just coming up with crazy conspiracy theories and coming up blaming people and just calling people names and then cheering the stock market. That strategy may have worked in 2019, but it is not working in 2020. And like I'm a screenwriter. So as a screenwriter, you try to think of all the possible scenarios possible at all. And so what I would like to ask the people who think the coronavirus is a hoax or just a flu to wonder, hey, what if, like, think about it. What if it is not a hoax or just a flu? What if it really is as bad as they say? Or if the numbers are actually worse than they're telling us about? Because they've got some new COVID spin-off disease that is starting to kill children. And Nostradamus did say the plagues would start to multiply. And so we've been following that Nostradamus handbook since the beginning of the year. And Nostradamus definitely nailed the plague. He nailed Billie Eilish. He nailed many of the things. And so the one main thing we have not seen yet in May is the death of some great lady and then trouble for other great ladies. But we're only in the middle of May, man. Hey, so this is just, I've been in lockdown for 2 years, and sometimes I need somebody to talk to, and that somebody is you. And you know what? There are a lot of times on my channel where if I do mention politics, people are like, stick to weather. And the people who say that usually only talk about politics. And so I guess they're like, stay in your lane. And you know what my lane is? My lane is everything else outside of politics. That's why I try to teach you guys about asteroids, try to teach you guys about weather, try to teach you guys about the sun, try to teach you guys about finance, the economy, oil, earthquakes, volcanoes, aliens, particle colliders, like the Cold War, the secret, the underworld, all, because so just like every blue moon, I want to discuss a political subject, and today is that day. And, and I'll be totally forthright, like a lot of people. In 2012, I voted for Obama, but I did not like what Obamacare turned out to be because it required everyone to get health insurance, and then it put in no cost protections, and it was a boon for the healthcare industry. And so I became anti-Barack, and in 2016 I did an anti-Barack vote and voted for Mitt Romney. And I gave Barack a lot of shit when on THORnews But as I've found, once presidents stop being presidents, I tend to like them a lot more. And so if you force me today to choose between voting between Barack Obama and Trump, I'd vote for Obama. Yeah. Just being honest with you, that's what I do. And you can say, like, oh, I don't get it. But, dude, I get it. Trust me. And as I've mentioned before, I've sat down and talked to quite a few billionaires in my life in person. And that there are a lot of trillionaires out there already, just they're off the books. And so at the end of the day, politicians to me are just like mascots for the corporations they represent. And so I've tried to ask you guys to not pay attention to politics, because during a major crisis, whether it be a plague or a hurricane, your political knowledge isn't really going to help you much. And it's not going to help us. The only solution we have is to break out of the chains of those who force us into a left or a right or a blue or a red camp, and unite to improve things past this divide and conquer world we live in. We have been in a cold American Civil War since like 2014. And I'm sick of it, dude. I'm sick of it. Hey, this will probably trigger a lot of people, but whatever. Okay. This is a social experiment where this was Trump's most popular tweet in a long time. And they both did a one-word tweets. And so, apparently here, sorry guys, it looks like Obama's winning this popularity contest. I'll check back in later. But when I put my Planetary Defense Commander hat back on, I represent everyone, man. And that's why, like, when I try to tell conservatives, like, it's not that big a deal to wear a mask. Like, my constitutional right. No, that would help solve we could open up everything a lot faster if everybody wore masks inside. 420. All right. Hi, caramba. All right, everybody. So, like, that's been my whole job and purpose here, is to unite the people. Granted, I haven't done that great of a job at it yet, but I'm persistent and I'm resilient. And so for 4 years that I was doing THORnews under Barack Obama, all the Democrats were like, you're bullshit, you don't know what you're talking about. And for 3.5 years of THORnews that I've disagreed with Trump, all the conservatives were like, you're bullshit, you don't know what you're talking about. And so the glorious thing is, I have a feeling 2020 at the end, both sides are going to be so disenfranchised. They're going to be like, you know what, THORnews? You're pretty dang correct. You were right the whole time. Well, I do my best. So I appreciate you, Asteroid Fight Club. I appreciate anybody out there who is open-minded. Like I said, we need a new plan. We cannot go backwards. We cannot retrograde into 2019. We are never going back to the old normal. World global travel is not going to return until 2022, 2023. Filled sports stadiums are not going to return until 2022, 2023. Taylor Swift won't be throwing a giant concert until 2022, 2023. That's just how it is. And that neither side wants to tell the public the truth about what we're really dealing with. And that the people are upset, but who's in control is the universities and the corporations, and that they are legally liable for people. And so they are going to err on the side of caution. So it's even now when states start to open stuff back up, you're going to find out that not a lot of people are coming back because people don't feel safe. And that until people feel safe, we're not going to get back to normal. And that quote-unquote normal won't return until 2022, 2023. Like pro sports, it ain't return until 2022, 2023. And so everything is being like geared around the quote-unquote 2020 election, which is 6 months away. So both sides are only giving the public half the truth, and no plans are being made. And this is everything I gave up everything in my life that was good. I had all the cool things in life that you do, that normal people had, and I gave them all up just so I could train us for 2020. And so we can't go backwards. And so we're either all going to win or we're all going to die. That's been my feeling, you know? Anywho, God is in control, and Jesus Christ is my King of Kings. And so I feel called upon to try and unite my fellow brother, and however I can. Although this video may end up dividing people, but like I said, this is a friend-to-friend conversation. I'm going to put my hat back on as Planetary Defense Commander and then talk to you guys about weather stuff. Okay. Stay cool. God bless you. Have a great day. Remember, it's okay to disagree with people. That doesn't mean that they're evil. It doesn't mean that they're like Satan's spawn just because they don't agree exactly what you agree with. I don't know if you know that. It's true. God bless everyone.